Hello, friends. It's Robin from Center Street Decor SVGs, and I wanted to hop on and do some more painting tutorials for you today. So I hope you're all having a happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are, and I hope you're getting some creative painting done today um, or later today if you're at work. But anyway, I'm finishing up my fall painting series that I have going before I hop into my Christmas, but I am going to give you a sneak peek of one of my Christmas projects. Oops, sorry. You could hear that. So I have my daughter calling me. I'll have to call her back. Um, anyway, so I will give you a sneak peek of the Christmas file. I stayed up really late last night working on it, and it was so fun. Uh, stayed up way, way, way too late. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of a night owl. I don't know if you guys are kind of night owl. I don't know. Crafters, sometimes we're just night owls. We start doing our craft and we just keep going and going, but at least I do. And then my husband wonders if I'm coming to bed. Yeah, I get there eventually. So anyway, let's show you what we're going to be working on. So these are our chunky acorns. So you know I love my chunky files, and that's what I love to design. So we're going to do our chunky acorn today, and these are shelf sitters, so they sit a little bit at an angle. So, you know, you can sit it on each side. I suppose you could lay it down if you'd like as well. So if you have a several to work with, you can lay them down, but these would be super cute, and they are really easy for if you're doing craft fairs. This in November, I know October, November is a big time for craft fairs. Um, so anyway, if you need some quick and easy fall projects for your customers, these are really fun. So the chunky shelf sitters, they are 4 different sizes. So this is the largest one. And I think it's about 5.5. Let me just see. So we've got, yeah, it's about 5.5. So the largest one is 5.5. And then there are 4 different tags. So this one is our Happy Harvest. And then we have, so the large, and then I am going to be painting the medium size. This is the small. Isn't that really funny? Oh my gosh. Squirrel. As crafters, I think we're like squirrel. And I have these really cute squirrels that come with the acorn. So you can make it whimsical if you want to, or like the first acorn, you can just do it. So it's more traditional. And but if you want to do put a fun squirrel on there, you can. And I'll show you today how we're going to paint that up. And then, of course, squirrel. And then the smallest one is so sweet. Let me see. The smallest one is about 2.5 inches. So it's tiny and it's just darling. So, and I did put a cute little squirrel on this one. And the squirrels come in the 4 different sizes. So, and you can put, you know, different size squirrels on different size acorns. Don't think you can go outside of the box if you want. If you want to put the tiny acorn or the tiny squirrel on the large acorn, you can. But look at this cute tag. There we go. I think it just focused. Nuts about fall. I thought that was really cute. So I'm going to tip you down and I'm going to show you all the pieces because there's a few different accessories to use with the acorns. You know how I love to do different accessories so that you have options on creating your project. So I'm going to tip you down here. I don't know if you can hear my Lucy, my dog. Her name is Lucy, and she's kind of barking over there. So I just gave her some ice. She thinks she has to have ice all the time, and she's getting older, and it's hard, but I'm afraid we're going to have to put her down. Anyway, okay, I'm just going to not talk about it because it's really hard. Okay, tip you down so I can show you the pieces that we're working with. Okay, so again, with the chunky shelf sitters, and if you don't want to make them chunky, if you want to do a single layer and decorate it like that, no problem. You can do that. Or if you want to make it chunky, I use 1/4-inch plywood that I buy from Home Depot. My husband and I buy the great big 4x8 sheets, and then we cut it down. So I'm going to close my door real quick. Okay. Okay. So, yep. So the 1/4 inch and the 3 pieces here. Now, the fun accessories is you have two different toppers for the acorns, and this makes it really fun. You can kind of do a traditional topper, or you can do the leopard print topper. So they're both really fun. Let me just show you on the finished one. So here, these two, the two smallest ones, let me turn around so you can see them. I use the leopard print. So really cute. And then on the largest one, I just went kind of traditional. So we're actually going to do the traditional today, but either one, the leopard print would be really darling on this. So either one. Okay, so here's the squirrels that come in with the SVG file. And the squirrels face both ways. So there's actually a squirrel that faces, you have two of the large ones that face, one facing left and one facing right. So, and all the 4 sizes, and they all face the 2 different ways. So there's extra squirrels in this file. And then we have our tags. So let me show you the tags that we have. So there's 4 different tags. So we have the Happy Harvest, and then we have So Thankful, Squirrel, and Nuts About Fall. So that is the 4 tags in the kit, and all the tags are resized for you also. So if you can see the little one, so they are sized. So there's 3 different sizes of tags, but there are 4 different phrases. Okay. So I've done a little bit of the painting ahead of time. I already painted, I use a baby wipe and a wipe on a little bit of burnt umber just on the very back piece. So it gives it kind of a finished look. Okay, so I've done that already. And then I also did the tag where I just painted it with, I used the antique parchment, just sponged it on there, and then I did my shading. And we'll do our shading. Okay. Before I move on, I've got to show you something really cute. So these are the pieces that will come in the file. However, if you want to break out of the mold a little bit, you can. So what I did is when I put my squirrels on my acorns, I recommend that you cut them out of the 1/8 inch wood. And then because they're not so chunky on there. So I recommend that. However, I thought it would be so fun if I cut out some squirrels in the 1/4 inch plywood and made some chunky squirrels. I'll show you. Look, I've got chunky squirrels. So I actually cut out 3 layers of the squirrels because I thought maybe I would need 3. However, these are so tiny that they stand up just fine by themselves with 2 layers. Oh my gosh, they are so cute. So you can have just a simple acorn and then make a chunky squirrel to just kind of sit in front. Oh my gosh, that's so cute, huh? So cute. Okay, you guys, we got to get to painting. So fun. Okay, sorry. My daughter's trying to call me again, so I'm just trying to. Okay, sorry if I went off camera. Let's see if I'm still live here. I'm still live, so I'm gonna have to call my daughter back in just a bit. So I did try to call her this morning. She's my daughter who lives in England, the one with the little babies that I went over for 5 weeks. When I helped her with her 2-year-old and then her little baby. So, okay, let's get to painting. So I'm going to use this tag, and the tags, there's 3 different sizes. I told you 3 different sizes and 4 different phrases. So we have the large, the medium, and then this one is the small. So I'm going to use the medium size on our medium size acorn. Okay, I'm going to set these aside because I'm not going to be painting those. Okay, so here's my layers. I've already done the back of that one. That's finished. Here's the middle one. I don't need to do anything with that. So here's our acorn pieces, and let me just show you the colors I'm going to use. I am going to use this fawn color for our base, and then I will use the burnt umber for the top pieces. So I'm going to put this one aside because I'm going to use the traditional piece here. I'm going to get a little bit of painter's tape out. Okay, it's going to kind of hold my squirrel in place and then hold this. So my squirrel, I paint my squirrel in this nutmeg brown. It's kind of a orangey brown. And I thought that was a, or not an orangey brown, but it's a little bit more, got a little bit more red in it, I think, than your burnt umber. So I use the nutmeg brown for my squirrel, burnt umber for this, burnt umber for the top, and then fawn for the bottom. Okay, let's get painting. Got my sponges over here. So I'm going to use my sponges. Got my nutmeg brown for my squirrel. And then my burnt umber. I'll move some of these pieces out of the way. So I just use little sponges, just tap off. And you can use wood or MDF. A lot of times I like to cut my small, the 1/4 inch wood out of MDF, but I've used both. If you get a little bit in the creases, you can clean them out if you like. I was getting a little heavy-handed. Yep, just clean them out. It's easy peasy. I hope you're all having a good day today. We've been quite busy. I still need to clean up the house. I have dishes to do. But when you can paint, why do dishes, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've got dishes to do. Dishes to do, and I'm going to mow the lawn today too. And that's a big job because we live on a little over an acre, so we have quite a bit of lawn. Here, let me get the brush I'm going to use. I think I'm just going to use this brush right here. I really like to use angled brushes. We're going to probably just give this a couple coats right here. I'm just staying away from that score line. So that score line is just going to show us the dividing line of where you're going to be putting your paints, your darker paint and your lighter. Okay, once I've got some coverage, then I will go a little bit closer to my line. This line is actually going to be hidden by this acorn piece right here, the layering piece. So you really won't see. So if it gets a little bit messy, don't worry. Just get close to that line. Okay. So I'm just going to jump back and forth just as you would, excuse me, as you would like at your home. When you're painting your projects, just jump between pieces. Just start one. That's why I usually like to get my paints ready and then just kind of jump back and forth. And I'll probably just do 2 layers. So with this acorn top, you can just do a solid color. But what I wanted to do with mine is I gave it a little bit of the different tones. If I can show you this piece, maybe that will help. So if you see the acorn top, I have I use the 2 different browns. I use the burnt umber and then also the nutmeg brown and just a little bit of white on there. So just to give it a little bit of a variation. So it wasn't like a solid color, but you can do a solid color if you want. Not a problem. It's your project and you get to create it, and you don't have to do all of the shading that I do on mine. It just kind of gives you different options of different ways to do it. So I think, and I'm still live. Okay, I'm still live, but my view is changed a little bit. So sorry. Okay, can tip you back down again. So my view's changed a little bit. So I hope I'm still live. If not, well, I'm just painting, talking to myself, which is okay. We do that all the time. Okay, I'll just give that a little bit more paint on here. I usually will do just about 1 or 2 coats. It wasn't quite dry, but it was close. Okay. Okay, I have that. And that's ready to do the lighter. So the fawn color is what we will do for the base of the acorn. And if you're painting up a bunch of these acorns, like I said, it doesn't take much time. It's just, they're really quite quick and easy. So I'm just going a little bit careful when I get close to that line. It's okay if it overlaps just a little bit because your topper piece is going to hide that. Okay, so let's add a little bit of dimension, a little bit of color to this. So I'm going to get another little sponge. And I want just a little bit of white. You don't have to do a whole lot. So I usually do it first. It kind of looks like a lot at first. But I'll go over the top of that with the darker colors. So right now it looks like, wow, that's a lot of white, which it is kind of a lot of white. So if I left it like that, it would be like, whoa, it's a lot. So I'm just tapping in just a couple different areas just to give a little bit of contrast. And then I'm going to go back over it with the darker brown. Jumping between pieces again. Okay, we've got our acorn base coated. That's all we need to do to base coat that acorn. I think I want to give that squirrel just one more coat. One more light coat. And all of these lines are scored lines, so it cuts really fast. I do like to engrave the tags. So, and I've seen other people just score them, and that looks fine too. So I usually engrave mine though. Okay, I'm pulling out the heat tool. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of this darker and then just kind of fill in some of those areas that I think are a little bit too white. So remember how my white looks so stark, it looks so bright. Yeah, I just pretty much just covered it right up, huh? Yeah, and it's hard to tell. I'll lift this piece up so you can see the contrast, but it's just subtle. Just gives it a few different tones. Okay, so let's do the shading on our cute little squirrel here. We're going to do some shading on, well, actually, before we do our shading, let's add our extras to this. I use a chippy brush. I was going to say, where's my chippy brush? So, and what I'm going to do, and my chippy brush is really dirty, but I don't know. I don't usually clean it. I do, and then I don't. So we'll see how it works. So I'm going to pick up some of that burnt umber right here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush. I'm going to go from the outside over. I'm just going to drag it. Okay, just very lightly. So if you do a lighter hand, that helps you to know, excuse me. So if you just do a lighter hand and then go a little bit heavier if you want to, go a little bit heavier on the outside. And so what I'm trying to do is just kind of create these lines here and have it more dark on the outside and less on the inside. So when I go, I kind of sweep and I pull up, if that makes sense. So I don't drag across the whole thing. So if I want, I'm just kind of doing a movement like that, if that makes sense. So I think that looks great. I am just happy with that. So I'm going to let that dry, and then we're going to add a little bit more. We're going to add some white just to give it some highlights. And I liked, I added the whites. So pick this up and see if you can see it. There's white underneath this top layer. Again, just to give it a little bit more contrast so you can see that. We'll let that dry, and it doesn't take long at all for that chippy to dry. So let's start doing some of our shading. So when I did my squirrel, I actually used a pretty small angled brush, because if you can see, he's just a little guy. So where I'm going to do my white is I'm going to do my white on this side of my line. So I'm kind of come around his tail, and then I'm going to highlight on like the inside of his knee. So like the light is like hitting the top of his knee. So that's where I'm going to do my shading. And I just want the teeniest amount. So I got my brush wet and I tapped it on my paper towel just to get most of the moisture out. And then I'm going to just touch just the teeniest bit. I'm not sure if you can see that. Maybe if I put it over that cream color, you can see. I just want just the teeniest bit on my brush. And then I'm just going to just keep moving it. And I go the same direction. Pull, 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 pull. And it blends and gives like an ombre. Okay, so we're going to go. I'm going to start by his knee. And I'm actually going to tip my brush straight up because I don't want a harsh line. If I was to lay it down, it's going to be a harsh line. Like on one of mine, I think I've got You can see it's a little bit more of a harsh line from here to here, this look. And that's okay. That still looks fine. But I'm going to just start with my brush kind of up. And then I'm going to lay it down. And I need more water because I was just not. So I just grabbed just a little bit of water instead of getting more paint or anything. Okay. So again, I'm just going to get a little bit more water just to lighten that because I thought, oh, that's kind of a lot. That was harsh. But it's okay. Sometimes I am quite a heavy highlighter or shader. Okay, and then we'll do this little tail. Just the tiniest amount. And if you haven't ever done this kind of painting, practice, practice, practice. In fact, if you want to practice with a squirrel, you can cut so many little squirrels and just practice, practice, practice. No worries. It's just a little bit of wood, and you can probably cut a lot of squirrels on a very small amount of wood. Okay, if I get too much, just grab a little bit of paint. Okay, so then I'm going to come in on the other side, the opposite side, and with the burnt umber, okay, above his knee and on this side of his tail. Oh, I did a little bit of highlighting on his paws. His little hands and his little foot. It just kind of came down his ear and his face, just to do a little bit. Yep, just a little bit. Okay, we'll let that dry. Okay, so now this is dry. We're going to come in, and I'm going to just use this stipple brush just to pick up a little bit of white. So I'm just going to touch the white just a little bit. So there's just a little bit on there. And then I'm just going to brush most of it off. And now I'm just going to kind of go down the center. Now I can see there's almost no paint on there because I brushed it all off. And it's okay to start very light and then build up. There, I can see a little bit of that color coming off. Okay, and then I'm going to go across here too, because I want this to be highlighted so it shines through that top layer. Okay, here's our squirrel. Let's do our burnt umber. Just pick up just the tiniest bit of that brown. And now I'm just going to go on top of his knee. Just to give a little bit like a shadow. That's what I'm trying to create. And same thing here. I'm just going to go on this side of the tail. Okay. So that's my little squirrel. He's just sweet. So that's all I did with the squirrel, just a little bit of highlighting on him. Okay, So quick and easy. So these pieces are ready to be put together, and we'll do our tag. And I'm actually not going to add the squirrel on this one. I painted the bigger one just so you could see me paint it. But I have two little squirrels on these. So I thought I would do more of a traditional on this look. So I'm not going to add the squirrel, but I wanted to show you how to paint it. So, oh, hey Heidi. So yeah, I will give you a call. I will call you and just as soon as I'm done with my live. So yeah. Anyway, I know I kept declining your call. I'm so sorry. Decline. It's probably like, Mom, I need you. Okay, let's put our acorn together. So I'm going to stack up these pieces, quick and easy to put together. A little bit of glue, make sure I have the back. Yep, because I already painted the back. Put those on together. Just line them up with your fingers so you can feel everything feels lined up. Oh, falling off the edge with my glue. Line up your pieces, fill with your fingers. A lot of times I will stand my pieces straight up, but this one has too many curves that you just need to fill with your fingers to line it up. For me, that's what works. Nice firm push. Hold it down. Let's do our acorn topper. Like I said, this traditional one is really cute. But I also love the leopard print one. Okay. Tap off some of the excess glue up there. And then I'm just going to lay this on right here. Oh, I just realized I didn't do my highlighting on my acorn. I'll do that. I can still do that. Okay. Let's do that. Oh, you know what I just realized? I did this in white, and the other I did, well, the squirrel I think is white, but this is like the antique parchment. We're going to do that highlighting. Not sure why I grabbed my white, but I guess because I use that for the squirrel. Okay, let's do a little bit of the highlighting. I've already glued it on, but it's okay. So I'm just going to come around the top right here, and then I'm just going to come up that stem. And then I'm going to let that dry. I'll come back to it. But I'm going to come around this corner right here. Okay. There. Just a little bit of highlighting on there. And then we're going to do a little bit below. And I'm actually going to pick up this the nutmeg brown for the bottom. Oh, you know what I did is I did a little bit on the bottom with the antique. And then I actually went over it with the lighter because I thought this was a little too white. So we're going to go over that again. Actually that one looks really good. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bright. I think on my others, I went just a little bit brighter. So Now I'm going to take the nutmeg color. And just to soften it, that's all I'm doing. Just to soften that white a little bit. Okay, that's it. Cute. Okay, the last thing that we need to do is put our little tag on here. So again, I'll show you how I do my little tags. I just have in my my stash, I just have a bunch of, I just go through my stash and decide what I want to use. I've just got this thin piece of twine here that we're going to use. And then I have just some brown polka dot. We're actually going to use some of this, this burlap. I'm just going to cut a strip of that. And then I love to use the lace. I've been using the lace for a lot of different things, so we're going to use the lace. Set these aside so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll take whatever string or twine or whatever you're using and just put through that small little hole. And then I just tie just a loop and just pull it taut. And sometimes I pull, like with this, I'm just going to pull a couple of those pieces off. So then I have my string here, and I'm going to lay them down on top of here. Just kind of do like making a little sandwich. And then I'm just going to tie right here. Just pull it snug without breaking your twine. There. Okay, now it's when I give everything a little haircut. And I usually go quite a bit shorter. So I go from short to long, so the back piece stands out just a little bit. So kind of whatever piece is on the top is the piece that gets shorter, and then a little bit longer, and then even a little bit longer. Okay, that looks cute. Cute little bow. And I actually, for this burlap, what I did is I did use my stick fast to put on the ends here so it doesn't fray, because it will. But I'll do that after I set it on. Okay, so what I like to do is if I'm going to be hanging off the edge here, do you see how that's kind of wobbly? So what I do is I take some of the pieces, like some of the inner pieces that you have here. So I call them risers. That's what I use for a riser. So little chunky pieces that were inside here, I might save just a few of them for my risers. So this is going to go on here, and it's going to hang off the edge a little bit. But if I have that riser here, then it's going to glue really, really nicely. So I have to decide how I want to set up my acorn, if I want to set it this way or that way. If I set it this way, I might want to turn my label so it reads that direction, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to put my little riser right there. I'm just going to bump it up against that topper piece. And then I'll put a little bit of glue on that top of that riser, and then a little bit back here on the tag. And then I'm just going to hide that little riser. So I'm not even going to know it's there, but it's going to create some good stability. Just give some firm holds. Okay, so this is where I'm going to take that stick fast glue. You could use whatever glue you like to use. No fray glue or whatever. I just use this. It takes a little bit of time to dry, but I just set it on there. And sometimes I might put this underneath here to lift it off of the other wood piece. Just so these pieces don't fray, because burlap will fray pretty bad. So I'm actually going to put my scissors under here just to lift it up. And this is lifting up. And so while that dries, oh, I was going to cut that piece off, but I'm using my scissors, huh? I'll cut it off later. Okay, so whoops, I want to have it under there. So I just have pieces holding that up so that will dry. But anyway, so that's our acorn, you guys. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. So thankful. So, okay, you guys. I know I just keep tipping you up and tipping you down today, but I'm going to do all the things. So I have, that's our acorn. I think that they turned out really cute. And like I said, they are a pretty quick and easy project. They're really fun. So fun to do. And you can add squirrels, or you can do what I showed you to do. Make a couple chunky squirrels that stand up next to your acorns. Use 2 layers of the 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch? Yeah, 2 layers of the 1/4 inch wood, and they will stand up all by themselves. If you want to do 3 layers, of course, it will give it much more stability, but 2 layers will do just fine because they're so small. So, and they're just so darn cute. They'll just be cute. Oh, one of them's backwards. I couldn't tell which one, but oh, they're so darn cute. So make some chunky squirrels. I would love to see your chunky squirrels if you guys decide to do that. So I have one more of my fall SVG files that I'm going to be painting up, and I am hopefully going to do that later today. So, and then I'll do a live. Oh, I got to go down to Utah to get my mom, but I'll do a live probably in a few days, or maybe tomorrow if I'm not going to get my mom. But anyway, okay, so here is our chunky pumpkin, and look at all of that wonderful detail. And this is scored on there, so it scores very quickly. So it's not engraved, it scores very quickly. And these are just, I hand drew these little fun designs. So we have our pumpkin, and then we have our, oh, let me grab the other one so you can see the detail a little bit more. We have our gourd. So a pumpkin and a gourd, and these two will come in the same file. So, and they are just lovely. Look at that gourd with all that yummy detail, all that scored lines. And like I said, it scores really fast. So I'm going to paint these up and hopefully do a live to show you how I did it. And they come with little tags, of course, too, which are just so cute. And the sayings are just so fun for fall. So that's what I have coming up. The other thing, I wanted to give you a little sneak peek of my angels. So I have designed, so one of my Christmas files that we're going to be doing is my angels. Well, let me show you her. Look how sweet she is, you guys. Oh my goodness. So these angels, and I will put them in they're not in the shop yet, but I will put them in today. But I wanted to give you a sneak peek just so you can see what's coming. So she is darling. So here is the back side of her. She has her little angel wings, and she's a chunky. She will stand on her own. And so it's got this lovely little flourish, and this is scored. So it's really quick. It's a quick scoring line. And I did it a couple different layers, which means it will score twice, like once and twice, and it does it really quickly. And when I do that, it goes a little bit deeper. So they're really easy to paint. You guys, these are going to be a great little quick thing to add in your fall craft fairs, because they're just quick and easy and darling, and they will come with 4 different tags so that you can put. So there's joy, hope, love, and peace, and they are darling. So let me show you. So this is the smallest one. So this is the small, and then here's our large. Let me back up so you can see. And this large, she is 6 inches tall. And I wanted to do her bigger because I thought it would be nice to have a shelf sitter that's a tall angel. And then so you can see the different size. And then there's a size in between this one. And that's the one I'm going to be painting after. I'm going to paint it on a live after I paint my pumpkins and my acorns. I have so much stuff coming, you guys. I'm so excited. But I'm only one person, and so I design it, and then I paint it, and then I paint it live. And it takes a little bit of time, but I want to try to move as fast as I can, because I know a lot of you are working on your Christmas files, but oh my gosh, I love I love the angels. I think they're darling. So anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today as we painted our acorns. They were so fun. I love them. So they're going to be going on my fall shelf. I've got lots of my Halloween stuff still right here. If you're still working on Halloween files, I have so many Halloween files in the shop. SVG, my chunky shelf sitters. I love them. I love them. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And if you have any questions on ideas of maybe what you would like me to design, share with me. Maybe I'll design it. So also, if you have any questions about painting, I will do my best to explain to you, or I can do a separate video like I did when I did my my witch in the cauldron. Someone wanted to know how I did the little socks on her shoes, the little ribbon socks, and so I did a separate video just to show you how to do that. But if you have any questions, please ask. I'm happy to help. I want to teach you how to paint so that you feel comfortable doing it. And I know shading is kind of scary if you haven't done it, but if you practice and practice, it will get better. So, and I will say I'm not a professional, but I still just really enjoy doing it. I just enjoy doing all of the shading just to add contrast. But anyway, I'm just jabbering, but I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we will catch you on the next live. I'm going to post those angels in the Etsy shop. Talk to you later.